Well, after the fix, are Americans really in a fix? Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto, and it turns out you can keep your health plan, kind of, period. The president reversing course and saying this time he really means it. Now, if you like your coverage, you can indeed keep it, at least for another year. Here's the problem. He's going to have a devil of a time making this latest promise stick because it's proving really tough getting this genie back in the syringe. The problem? The president. Try as he might, it's beyond his control. He can't make this happen. It's up to your insurance company to make this happen and your state to let this happen. And Washington State, the very latest, say ain't happening. Not much solace for the 5 million Americans who've already experienced something else happening. Their coverage getting canceled, their hopes getting dashed, their anger now out of control. Bob Frank, one of them. He's no more encouraged today than he was yesterday. So, Bob, explain what happened to you, and then we'll put this in context. Go ahead.
Yeah, I moved to Maryland 3 years ago, shopped around, found myself a great insurance policy that I really liked. I've had it for 3 years, no problems. The insurance company's happy. I'm happy. October 1st, I get a letter. My policy's been canceled because it doesn't give me maternity coverage and OBGYN coverage and neonatal coverage. And now I'm shopping around trying to find a comparable policy. And the Maryland Exchange's website tells me my email address that I've had for 10 years is an invalid email address, so I can't register. And when I go online, the closest policy I can get is going to cost me 32% more than my current policy and have a higher deductible.
Well, the president today, Bob, said you can get that one back. Did you try? Did you call that insurance company and say, look, I don't know if you caught the president today, but he says I can get it back?
Well, no, I didn't call the insurance company today because I know that insurance companies have to file their policies months in advance with the states. And the president may want it to come back, but somebody's got to get Maryland to approve a new policy for me.
All right, so what do you do? What happens to you now?
I have no idea, Neil. I'm probably going to end up having to do a rollover policy, which means I get a new deductible starting on December 1st. Then I get a new deductible again comes January 1st. And then comes November next year, I get whatever the market gives me out there. I can't shop. There's nowhere to be able to shop at anymore.
Now, it sounds like a lot of these things that your insurance company had to include in order to continue and not be a substandard plan. Was stuff that you didn't need, right?
Yeah, I don't like that idea of substandard, Neil. I'm an educated person. I bought a plan that works for me. It gives me medical care. It gives me my prescription drug. It's not substandard. And I don't know where the president gets off. He's never examined me. He doesn't know what I need to be able to tell me that my plan is substandard. I've been buying insurance longer than he has.
So when the president reaches out today, and there are many mea culpas, you know, regrets, apologies, any of that register with you?
Yeah, registered. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
So
he doesn't have to go out and shop insurance. He gets his insurance. He told me, go spend some time on the marketplace and shop around. I did that right after he said it. 32% increase in my premiums. And he said 15% was outrageous. So
the argument that you're the exception, not the rule, that you're among those that are hit by a distinct minority, what do you make of that? Is that any more of a sob for you or what?
No, the statement was, I can keep my plan, period. Not you can keep your plan if you're except if you're an exception. There weren't any exceptions. And so to me, this has all just been a disaster for me, for friends of mine who have small businesses. We're all in the same boat. Whether it's small businesses or individuals, we have all had our insurance canceled for no reason. I had no claims. My deductible was $2,700 a year. I never come close to it. The insurance company was happy. I was happy. And now my whole world's been thrown into a tizzy. I'm 62 years old. I shouldn't have to be going around trying to find insurance someplace when I was very happy 3 weeks ago.
Amazing. Bob Frank, hang in there, my friend. Very good having you.
Hey, thanks a lot, Neil.
All right. In the meantime, the insurance industry warning that the president's plan could destabilize the market and actually cause premiums to spike anew. Robert Leshesky agrees. He's with the Health Policy and Strategy Associates. So, Bob, you're saying that the president tried to put the genie back in the bottle is actually going to complicate this. Explain.
he's created an even bigger mess. I don't know who's advising this administration on how the health insurance market works, but they just created a bigger mess than the one they had. You know, everybody's got to sign up by December 15th for January 1 coverage. That's the healthcare.gov rule. The president just said to the insurance companies, you can allow your people to keep it, but you're going to have to send every one of them a letter, and you're going to have to explain the difference between the old policy and the new Obamacare policy. So the insurance companies got to send individual letters to all of these people explaining the detailed differences. Then they got to send that through the United States mail. Then they've got to give the policyholder time to make a decision. Then the insurance company has to change all of their computer systems, provider eligibility lists, premium banking, everything. You know, this administration has taken 3 years to build healthcare.gov, and they've screwed it up royally. And now they're telling the insurance industry they've got to turn on a dime, redo everything the insurance industry has been working on to comply with this law, and do it in 31 days.
Do you think that this was really aimed at those who are teetering right now with their plans, not joining the 5 million who've already lost them? That for that 5 million, it's too late. They're not going to get it back. But for those who are teetering, the president might have given a window to keep those policies going. Or is that too out of his control?
Well, you know, whether you give him a 1 year, you know, he's only given a 1 year window, which means these policies vaporize in a year anyway. Whether you do it for 1 year or 1 month doesn't make any difference. You've got to do the process I just talked about in 31 days. I don't know what they're doing. What he's done is this is political. You know, when they pushed the button on October 1 to launch healthcare.gov, they were not ready. It was an administrative mess. But they had to do it on October 1 for political reasons. Then they said when the system crashed, it's because everybody wants to sign up. Everything is political spin with this administration in Obamacare. And now what they're doing is they're putting this hot potato back in the insurance executive's lap. Either the insurance CEO says, logistically, I'm sorry, I can't do that, which in that case, he's the bad guy taking the policy away, or the insurance company CEO decides to try to do this logistical nightmare in 31 days, risk enormous customer service problems. He's given the insurance guy is the bad guy now.
I think you hit on something very, very profound, Bob. The boogeyman is the insurance company, not the president. And I'm wondering if do you fear that was the intention all along, to say, look, well, I gave you this back, and it's those, you know, greedy SOB insurance guys who held this back.
Neil, this is not Humanacare. This is not Aetnacare. This is not Blue Cross Care. This is Obamacare. This is his mess, and I think the American people are smart enough to know that.
Amazing. Bob, thank you very, very much. Very good having you.
You're welcome.
So you can see it's getting very tough to get this back in the bottle, right? The Cleveland, Ohio now, where the president is trying to turn the focus on jobs. He's speaking at a steel mill. My next guest says it's just one teeny little problem. That mill is about 6 miles away from the Cleveland Clinic. Remember that? That's the one that lost 3,000 jobs, it said, in large part because of the president's health care law. Not good optics to Ohio Republican Congressman Jim Jordan. What do you make of this? Bad timing, I suspect, but what do you make of this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, how can you believe anything this president says when it comes to health care? You know, he's up there talking about health care, talking about jobs, talking about the economy. But the fact is, when it comes to health care, he said, if you like your plan, you can keep it. You can keep your doctor. Premiums will go down. You'll save $2,500. The website will be ready by October 1st. He's made all kinds of claims, and he's making more than
Congressman, can he keep this latest promise? Because now he's saying, no, you can keep it this time. I really mean it this time. And now, if you want it, a 1 year extension, you can have it. We just talked to an industry executive. No, that's easier said than done. This ship has sailed.
I think that's exactly right. And the previous guy was exactly right, too. This has been done for political reasons. We had a hearing yesterday, Neil, where the contractor who was examining the website knew that it wasn't going to work. People in the administration knew it wasn't going to work, but they went ahead and launched it because October 1st, they couldn't admit that Republicans were right. They couldn't admit the American people were right and this law needs to be delayed. They couldn't admit that, so they launched it. And what they did was put people's personal information at risk. So this is all about politics. His press conference today was all about politics. He's hearing it from Democrat members.
You guys are not about politics. I guess what I'm asking, there are a lot of cynics who look at this whole battle and say, you know, Republicans have managed to grab a defeat from the jaws of victory themselves. What do you do now? Because there is a possibility here that and maybe the administration has forced you into a corner, that if you fight this effort to get a moratorium, in other words, to extend this for another year, he'll put the onus back on you and say, well, they blocked it, and those Republicans were just as bad as those insurance guys blocking me from guaranteeing coverage for you.
Neil, we just had a long debate over the last couple of months. Everyone in the country knows where Republicans are at. We wanted this law delayed. Everyone now sees it should have been delayed. The administration knew it should have been delayed, but launched it anyway for political reasons. That is as clear as it can be. The president can say all he wants. He can have more promises, but the American people understand. He's for Obamacare. He always was. It doesn't work. It's not ready. It should have been delayed.
So what are Republicans going to do? And you're a pretty influential player there. I mean, what do you do?
We got a bill on the floor tomorrow that says what the president declared today by executive fiat. We have a bill on the floor tomorrow that says if you like your plan, you keep, but it has the flexibility that's needed in a free market. That's our bill tomorrow, not the president saying, making this declaration that he made today from the podium at his press conference.
All right, Congressman, thank you, by the way. We're going to hear from Nancy Pelosi soon on that very measure. She's not too keen on it. She's met with the Democratic leadership, and she's going to spell out exactly why she doesn't like that bill. So this is like the law being re-debated all over again. They tear it up, they put it together, they tear it up. My God, it's like one of my diet plans. Anyway.